Hi everyone. Okay, now that you've installed a template to a domain name of your choice, let's talk about how to manipulate the template. Let's go in there and start overriding things and changing it. So I'm going to go to the link /administrator, and you might say, why not just /admin? The answer is because that's looked for a lot more by hacking softwares. So we do go the full mile out with /administrator. It'll automatically forward to /login. You don't need to put that in. But if you put your domain name /administrator, takes you to the admin panel, okay? And you'll have whatever it is, your login information, and that'll let you in, okay? So I've got mine. All right, now that we're in, let's do this. Let's compare the front end. And by the way, you can take some simple notes of things that are going to turn into updates as you go along. It used to be that when we would click on the icon, it would open the main page in a new tab. For some reason, it doesn't do that anymore. I think somebody kind of lost the common sense point of that. So what we're going to do is reinstate that. So sooner or later, you'll just be able to reach up and click this, and it'll open that. That way you can go back and forth. And what I want to do is point out the differences. So we have a number of things to go through. Many of them are repeated down here. If you hover over these, you see writing on this side, okay, like a table of contents. Now, I've updated these from time to time, but not for the latest version yet. I still have my own questions about certain things. And then when we get it done, I'll go ahead and start updating through the contents, and then you'll see that when you log in, okay, that they'll just be updated. But most of the stuff is common sense. A lot of this is really easy once you just understand the basics. And then some of it's more advanced, but we'll deal with it at the end. And most of you won't even ever need the advanced stuff for anything. Okay, so having said that, the front page of the website is called your theme, okay? So the theme has a lot of parts to it, moving parts. You know, there's pieces here, right? These are called sections, all right? And when we talk about pages, the page part, okay? And by that I mean this, pages, which is the same that you see up here, all right? Then pages is the part that starts next to the sidebar, if the sidebar's there. It's just all the basic wording that turns into the big old paragraph here that probably has some images, maybe some videos, and it goes to the end of that section there, okay? So we're gonna go find this and compare it. We're gonna compare how it starts and compare how it ends, okay? And then everything past that changes again. There's more sections, okay? So these sections are all different parts of the theme, okay? Now, with that said, usually the theme elements are on the home page, and that introduces you to all the stuff inside the website, is kind of the idea. You would normally create a page, and you would change the wording, but you create a page for this thing, you create a page for that. You change the images, change the titles, change the wording, and change what the links say. By the way, don't let any of that sound like a lot of work. First of all, many of you are going to flip a lot of sections off. You just don't need them. If you flip a section off, everything below it rolls up automatically, okay? So it's not a problem. There's not going to be a hole in your website. Second thing, don't forget you have an AI writer. So your AI writer is going to do a lot of your writing for you. You just tell it what you're looking for. You give it some basic information, say, give me a tagline for best concrete, except it won't say that. It'll say what you want it to say. So just think of services that you have. View more services, or else products, or features, or benefits. And if you can't think of anything useful for this section, flip it off. Okay, so you'll see how all that's done very, very soon, because we'll get there. In the meantime, the main page is the most complex. Okay, there went the back to the top button. Oh, one last thing before I forget. The very bottom of the website is where you're going to find a link to oddball things like your sitemap. Okay, so if you're looking for a list of all the pages, you would go to your sitemap, and it's going to show you all the pages you've got on your website. And we can clear this very easily. And as a matter of fact, I'm getting a better button built for it to make it even easier. But there you go. Now, When I click any one of the links in the sitemap, it gives me a page that's based on the theme, so it acts like the theme page. Okay, it's going to follow the rules for our theme. So whatever the home page is set to do, so do these pages here in the sitemap, because the concept is the common sense wins out. The pages that are here, usually they're meant to be variations of the home page. They're meant to basically be the home page again, but who knows, for a different city or for one of your different affiliates or something like that. Okay. Now, that's the home page. It's all this stuff that makes the website look the way it does. Once you click to enter pages, it is supposed to get a lot easier. So it does. Okay. We'd have our top header bar, and then we'd have our navigation bar, and then we'd have some kind of a line break maybe or none. Then we might have like a breadcrumbs bar that we can flip off if we don't want it, and we can make changes to it. And then we have our contents and our sidebar. They kind of go together. You basically turn the sidebar on or off with each page you create. It's up to you. Some pages you want them paying attention and not sidetracked by whatever you have over here in the sidebar. Okay. And as you see, there's some broken images and stuff. Perfect, because that way we can go fix them, right? And that way we can see how that's done. Okay, and how to add images and stuff like that. You can obviously change all the colors of paragraphs. H1 tags, H2 tags, H3 tags, 4 and 5 tags. And you can change the font. You can change how they're centered. There's all these things you can do. And inserting images is easy. Now keep in mind that there's a lot less happening on this inner page, right? Somebody lands on the inner page and we don't want them to be confused because they see all the same stuff they just saw on the home page again. We don't want this stuff to also be on that page and that page and that page and that page. Someone will click, the page will blink, and then it'll look like this again, right? And they won't get it. They'll think, oh, it didn't click, right? So we don't want all that. Once they saw this stuff, they saw this stuff. It's all the intro stuff. But once they're reading the inner pages, we figure they're interested in the information. Okay? So we don't want all that stuff repeating. We just want to get right to the point. Okay? So every inner page kind of has that same concept of being right to the point. The breadcrumbs work. You could click back to the main page, right? And if you keep going down in sub-menu links in your menu, you can do that with ease. Then the breadcrumbs will go further down. And you can climb up and you can climb all the way up. Okay, just like you would with any breadcrumbs. Okay, content on your page is usually headers, okay? And then there'd be an image, and the reason you see all the wording is the alt code for the image. If the image was there, the wording would disappear because it would be hidden in the image, so to speak. Then you might have like an H2 tag, or it'll come up later, right? Or just a sub block. And then you have, you know, what should be H2 tags here and here and here and here and here. So we can just make sure that, okay, with their paragraphs. And you can control the colors and the fonts and everything else. Okay, so there really isn't much to it. There's writing, images, sometimes videos, and then we make some links, clickable links in here. They could go to other pages of ours if there's some point to it. Like if this said our success, you know, our successful employees, our success, and then it could link to the our success page, right? That's called creating internal links. Links on pages that link to other pages of your same website. Doing that through your pages like that in the paragraphs make your pages worth more to Google. It's one of those things you do to rank higher. One of those things Google looks at. So it's simple. I mean, you can do it whenever you want, okay? You'll make changes and play around with your website as you go anyway. So it's all good, okay? Now, a sidebar can be flipped on or off, like I said. And if it's flipped off, then the wording kind of glides to the side to fill the space, right? That's the idea. Okay. So I've covered all that. And so what we're going to want to do now is go in here and start exploring where all those pieces are for the front end theme, for the pages, for the sidebar, and the other sections that we saw, right? So that we can see how to make changes to things, including the typography, which is the colors and the fonts, things like that. What color are your links? What color is your paragraph? What font is your paragraph? And so on. So we'll go through all these things one at a time. So I'm going to close this video out. This was kind of the introduction to the dashboard, and just the point that these up here, most of these are down in here, but there are some things up here that are not down here. And there are some things down here, like the modals, the action modal, that I'm not sure is up here. It could be up here. There might be and there might not be. Just keep in mind that, and masking. And as we go, we'll kind of rearrange some of these from time to time and improve upon them. And so you'll see how that's done. And we'll also, of course, explore how to get images into the pages, because it's interesting and at the same time, not hard. All right, we'll move on to the next video.